Hi, and welcome to the July 29th edition of the Astro Energy Astrology Podcast with me, Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I want to welcome you. And out of the gate, I want to tell you, please do comment, like, share, subscribe. We are going to be talking about the full moon this week and what's going on, what's coming up, probably Lionsgate, which is actually next week, but I'm going to talk about it anyway this week. So I want to welcome you. And let's get right into it. We've got today, we are recording, it's Saturday, the 29th of July. Mercury just went into Virgo yesterday at 5:31 p.m. You can see over here, let's see, there, over here is our chart. It shows Mercury at 1 degree of Virgo. And so we've also got Venus at 27 Leo. We've got Pallas Athena at 8 degrees Virgo, Mars at 11 degrees Virgo. So a lot of Virgo energy. You would think it's Virgo time of year, but no, it's actually Leo time of year. And that's why we talk about the upcoming 8/8 energy. August 8th is Lionsgate. It's kind of a new thing to me. I've only heard about it for a year or two. And so it's something that I will get on board with because it's becoming in the common collective mindset something that's significant, and that always means something's going to happen or events go along a collective mindset. Okay, so starting today though, we're going to talk a little bit about Mercury in Virgo. Mercury is the ruler of Virgo and Gemini, and so of course Geminis feel this energy just like Virgos do. Well, in as much as we both feel the energy of Mercury. Geminis feel this as a square, which means that it's friction energy. It is not a comfortable energy because the sign of Virgo is 90 degrees away from Gemini in the sky, which means there is something to be learned, something that tests us, and it is friction. So I liken this to working out our cosmic muscles. So when we have squares, in the sky, it's a planet here and a planet here, and they come in together at a 90-degree right angle. And so they are not cooperative in how they approach the energies and how they approach their own energy, contributing it to the collective. So Gemini is mental Mercury and Virgo is earthbound, grounded energy. That being said, Gemini energy is very electrical from Mercury, but it needs to be grounded. So Virgo can ground that energy. Virgo doesn't get the understanding without the air energy as well. So they both can contribute something. Now, do they necessarily see each other's contribution? Probably not. I know my sister, as I've said in the past, is a Gemini and I'm a Virgo. And definitely we spent a lifetime of not necessarily seeing eye to eye. And a lot of that is because she's a Gemini and I'm a Virgo. Okay, and so we've got the Mercury energy in Virgo now. Of course, Mercury does go retrograde in the sign of Virgo this year. So Mercury retrogrades in August on the 22nd at 21 degrees 49 minutes of Virgo, goes all the way back to 8 degrees of Virgo, and then turns direct in the shadow period. It is there through the end of September, the last day of September. It actually finishes up the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde. And what that means is Mercury direct is very intellectual, very grounded. Again, I apologize for those of you who watched me for a long time. I always tend to default to people who are new to astrology, and I know a lot of you may not be new to astrology. So you probably get tired of hearing me list all the attributes, but it is kind of geared towards the newbies so that they understand it in a clearer way. That being said, I do try to involve more of the details that maybe new people to astrology don't always understand. But Mercury in Virgo, it is criticism, high intellect, awareness. It can be sensitivity to energy. Virgos can get anxious. I don't tend to get as anxious as, say, my daughter, and she has Jupiter in Gemini. But I do get anxious, and when I get nervous, which is more of my default, I hold the energy in my stomach. The intestines and digestive system is a strong Virgo energy. That's where Virgos focus their energy. So when they're upset, their digestion gets screwed up. Um, and so Virgo is also a sign of helping. It is the sign of service, and people who fall under that, or professions that fall under that, could be nurses, teachers, the military personnel, anyone who's in a help or service industry, human resources, admin, people who work behind the scenes, people who work in hospitality, any of that. I just thought of candy stripers. If you're a teenager, candy stripers were something that was big when I was in high school. And those are the ones at hospitals who are volunteers, and they help out with different things like bringing magazines to people in the hospital, or fluffing pillows, or bringing water, any, little tasks that might need to be tended to as a helping means for people in the hospital. Pallas Athena in Virgo. So Pallas Athena is like the goddess warrior. She does rule a certain amount of love, of feminine energy, relationships. In the sign of Virgo, she's more meticulous. She probably pulls her energy back more from the warrior and becomes more of service, and probably more like Florence Nightingale in this energy. Although, like I said, Virgo does rule military. So Pallas Athena in the military will be much more feminine power, and it can be including the educational side of things. She could be teaching seminars, like she brings out more opportunity for teaching education seminars, and help behind the scenes. Mars in Virgo, workaholic. I default to that, but it's just so much my awareness because my father has Mars in Virgo, and someone else I was married to has Mars in Virgo. And that means that they work a lot. They enjoy expressing the masculine drive in the energy of Virgo through work. And so they really do have a strong work nature, and they get their value, their personal value, from the work they do and what they can produce. Mars, a masculine energy, and Virgo, it means that they're much more meticulous, detail oriented. They honestly are like the perfect husband. If you want a husband who cleans and is detail minded, is intellectual, is driven towards bringing home the bacon, very good energy there. They are also the people who become teachers, who become nurses, and help out in the medical profession. Okay, we have Sirius in Libra, which means a balance around diet, a balance in the harvest, and having the same amount going into production as coming out of production. And then it can connect people together over diet. And then the South Node in Libra is the energy we just went into. And of course, South is past lives, what we come into this life understanding. And that energy is balance, is relationship, is the ideal of connectedness. It is justice, and it can be writers, it can be books. Real big love of books and reading and writing under this energy. Librarians, Libra librarian connection there. And so the South Node means that there are karmic energies that, as a collective right now, because this is a transit. Now, that being said, anyone born with this South Node in Libra, and that's someone, who could be born now, they will have Libra South Node. So they're coming in to learn about balance, to learn about relationships, and they want things to go cooperatively. They are good cooperators, and they see all sides of an issue. So that is what we're dealing with in the South Node energy right now. And then, of course, the opposite, the North Node, is the part of the sky that we're not completely comfortable with, that it is where we're driven to go for our own fortune, But because we have not been there, we've been to the South Node, we're learning about the North Node. We're learning about how to explore and maybe overcome shyness, overcome timidity in going towards our North Nodes. My North Node is in Gemini, and as I've said, that squares on my Virgo. So Gemini is not necessarily the energy I really embrace, and it's in my house of commitment, in my house of legalities. It is uncomfortable for me, quite honestly, but probably more pointedly so because I have 4 planets in Virgo squaring the Gemini energy. Anyone who has a North Node with no squares or no difficult aspects is going to maybe have a little bit of anxiety or a little bit of discomfort, but still go towards that energy. And we all get benefit from embracing that kind of energy that we're unaware of. So basically, it's a learning energy. It's trying to embrace that side of yourself that is unknown as of yet, as opposed to, say, a shadow self. It's not really like a shadow self or the darker side of your nature. It's more what we're unfamiliar with, having lived multiple lives. We aren't as familiar with this energy, so we are drawn to explore this area. And when we explore it, when we open our lives up to it, we get more fortune for having challenged ourselves and really learned and grown from this energy. And currently it's in Aries, and that means for the next year and a half, it will be going through the sign of Aries. And that means we will be learning more about masculine energy, about what it means to express masculine energy. That being said, it's really kind of ironic today and building up to today. When I'm out and about in my car, I'm seeing more firefighter energy. Today specifically, I was behind 3 vehicles with firefighter specialty plates on them. I went in line at the grocery store, and there were literally 4 firefighters in the line that I chose, which was the quickest line. There were 4 firefighters ahead of me. And so firefighting is definitely coming up in my awareness. It may be coming up in your awareness as well. And of course, with all this fire energy of Leo, and then the North Node and Chiron in Aries, we are seeing more fire issues, more fire themes coming up at this time. We have Neptune at 27 Pisces, which is in positive aspect to both Uranus and to Pluto on either side of it. So, of course, Uranus is in an Earth energy and Pluto is in Earth again right now. And that means that our dreams are really having an extra boost of the ability to come true, because on one side of them, they have clarity of mind. And Uranus is not yet retrograde. When he goes retrograde, he will be a little bit more bogged down by the details of being with other individuals, as opposed to having the freedom to move about without being fettered by one-on-one relationships. He's much more expansive and intellectually aware and cognizant under direct motion. And so he's still building new inroads with networking, with other people, with concepts. I know Twitter just changed its identity this week, and identity change could be a big part of Uranus and Taurus. Aries rules the head, it rules identity and ego, and it's the drive to do something about it. And then when it gets to the energy shifts into Taurus, Taurus is where we see the manifestation of the interest in changing our looks, our hair. I got my hair cut a couple weeks ago. And, so the Uranus and Taurus energy is very much about bringing that drive of Aries and ego and identity and self-promotion down to the material world. It is, along with Leo, believe it or not, they square each other, but Leo and Taurus are really both good signs for promoting agendas in media, in, brand identity, marketing, that kind of thing. Taurus is the artistic side of it. Leo can be artistic too. I find Leo, when it comes to marketing, Leo is very graphic in its expression, where Taurus is much more fine art and refined, aesthetic minded, and not as dramatic. So the aesthetic of Taurus is beauty, elegance, like Art Nouveau, refinement, Ralph Lauren, things like that, that are high energy, high vibrating, refined tastes. And then Leo, with the nature of Leo, driven by the sun, driven by fire, we see a much more in the spotlight, dramatic, look at me, kind of bold, fiery colors, graphic energy coming through with that. And also it can, like I've said in the past, it can rule jewelry design, and glass in particular, because fire bringing sand into glass is very common attraction. I know I have Venus in Leo, and I very much love working with glass. In my art career, I've worked with stained glass, made bolo ties, and really enjoyed making jewelry out of glass. So Neptune is the planet of dreams at late degrees. It's retrograde. It's much more practical, pragmatic about how it expresses that. And then we go around to Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter is direct currently. He retrogrades the 3rd of September. Yeah, literally Venus goes direct within 24 hours of Jupiter going retrograde. That'll be interesting. So it's like they go and shift. Venus is going to be retrograding, or going from retrograde back to direct in Leo, and she'll be at early degrees. And then Jupiter retrogrades farther in, back going forward, or going retrograde in mid-range, 15 degrees of Taurus he retrogrades at, and Venus goes around 5 degrees, 12 degrees. So they're actually switching right around a similar degree, 15 and 12. And since they're squaring each other, I do anticipate that the 3rd of September is going to be a significant day. At the same time, we have a lot of Virgo energy, which is accidents or the unexpected. It is Mercury energy, which is in the tangible material world. So look for shifts and changes that are quick and unexpected in the material world. That's the body, vehicles, phones, houses, anything that is a material good has the potential to transmute and transition. So yeah, September 3rd is probably going to be a significant day, or very close to. It's also right around Labor Day. So I would give a heads up for Labor Day activities. Be extra cautious and aware of your surroundings, aware of other people's activity and your own physical movements, because it's going to be significant. Okay, let's see. So Saturn is retrograde in Pisces, still 5 degrees. He goes all the way back to 0, and he is currently opposite the Pallas Athena and Mercury energy, which means there's an opposition going on there. And I don't really see any other squares, so I'm sure there's some inconjuncts going on. Let me see if I can find out. Yeah, the sun is quincunx to Saturn today at 6 degrees. He actually was technically quincunx yesterday, exact, to Saturn. And that means the ego is frustrated with the structure of how Saturn is expressing in the emotional realm. Maybe the sun wanting things out in the open and very bright, happy, cheerful is not happening. You know, Saturn is in Pisces, meaning more moody, more closed off, very introspective and psychic and esoteric, where Leo is much more in like the celebrity reality shows and drama. They're not really cooperative, and that is also continuing probably for another, I want to say, week. It's going to be about a week till sun really clears that orb of quincunx to Saturn. So we're going to feel a little off with our Leo energy, maybe like there's something else going on behind the scenes that we're not really aware of. And that's probably because there is something going on behind the scenes. And Saturn in Pisces can very much be spirit coordinating things, so to speak. Like there's events and activities taking place that maybe even have angelic realm influence that we won't necessarily know about until a little bit later on, as sun continues forward and gets out of the quincunx energy, but also when Saturn goes direct there may be some more energy with that, really releasing what has been going on behind the scenes at that retrograde to forward motion. And that doesn't happen until later. I want to say October and November, third day of November, Saturn goes direct. Okay, let's talk about the full moon in Aquarius. It's going to be at 7 degrees, 9 degrees, 16 minutes. And that happens at 2:32 p.m. Eastern, 11:32 p.m. Pacific. And that makes it 7:32 p.m. in England. You do the math. Okay, and so the full moon in Aquarius means we are going to be at peak awareness. It is going to be the first of 2 full moons of August. The second one is a blue moon, and it's going to be very intense because, well, the first one is Aquarius. The second one is about the same degree range, only in Pisces. So we've got a full moon in Aquarius and a full moon in Pisces. And so this also, because it's the moon, mothers, it involves it's mothers and home and family, but also the moon being an indicator of a story outcome. The first one is Aquarius, where in an overarching storyline for August with 2 full moons is going to be, a rare occurrence because, once in a blue moon, but also the ending of a story from awareness of an event to culmination and finishing off of an event. And as a, for instance, it could mean that you find out about something going on with a friend that you didn't know, an unexpected turn of events around health or something. And then the Pisces energy is the end of a story. So it could be a quick culmination of a storyline around health. Okay, so the Aquarian energy initiates it, brings it to our awareness, involves networking, involves community, involves awareness, clarity, involves the unexpected, LGBTQ, like I said, friendship, networking from career, an experience of awareness and understanding, and an expansion of mental energy and clarity. And also this involves space, science, technology, storms, storm patterns, things like that. And then you get to Pisces. Pisces is watery events, storms also, but more flooding. The Aquarian energy is lightning and outages of electricity, things like that, where Pisces is going to be much more flooding, water, overabundance of water, high tides, and the like of that. So the overarching picture, awareness, sudden, unexpected, that has an outcome by the end of the month of being more emotional, being buried in that intensity that we didn't really expect, and really saying goodbye to something. Could be saying goodbye to a particular sentimental piece of furniture that has to be let go during flooding, or it could be saying goodbye to a person in your life that unexpectedly passed and you have to do some type of memorial service. It could be the range, a gamut of different things. So when people say, oh, why didn't astrologers predict that? Astrologers can predict things based on the past. So when events occur through research, through finding out, oh, what happened the last time this particular astrological event occurred? Oh, well, it happened last time, so there's a likelihood it's going to happen again, because the logic side of astrology indicates the research and the repetition of a pattern that can be predictable. That's where astrology gets its information. So it isn't just pulling it out of the ethers and saying, oh, I just know this. It's about recognizing that everything is cycles, and we've gone through these cycles before. Have we gone through this exact transit combination? It's like, have I cooked this particular stew exactly the same way before? Well, I added similar elements, but maybe I added one extra element, or maybe I added a longer cooking time, which increased the savoriness of the item. So it's an inexact thing because every moment is a new creation. But yet we do have patterns and repetition based on the cycles, which is what astrology addresses. So it's a fascinating thing for me. I've been studying it for 46 years. I started when I was 12. And I've been doing it professionally for over 30, since the 1980s. And I do take personal readings, private readings, if you're interested, at angeliczodiac.com. But getting back to the full moon, it is a culmination of an energy that can end in the unexpected, an explosion, a fight, a blow up, or just a transmutation of energy that shifts us from one direction to another. It can be unexpected information coming in. It can be an aha moment, an awareness. We're waking up. Keep in mind, the full moon means the sun is in the opposite sign, which means the sun is in Leo. Leo is ego and an attachment to another person, a wanting to relate, where Aquarius energy wants to detach. So there may be some kind of, I just get that picture of when a zygote splits, you have the little genes going apart and creating two new cells. That is kind of the energy of a full moon. But at the same time, there is a coming together of the energies. So that's what I talk about when I talk about synergy, that it's a spinning wheel where both energies share something of the other because they're opposites. When we have the full moon, we will definitely see the themes of you and me versus the collective. My identity as it is independent, but within a collective. And then how do we relate as two people coming together? It's both. So it's also the culmination, the end of a story. And because it's 2 in 1 month cycle with the same 8 number, 8 for August, you're going to see probably money issues or stability issues come into the mix numerologically. 8 is infinity. So there is a lot of intensity going on right now. Just the fact that Pluto keeps dancing between Aquarius and Capricorn adds to the intensity. And then we have planets retrograding in the course of the few months. So there's always something going on. And now I hear some weird buzz. I have a giant soccer stadium 2 blocks away out my window, and there's an event tonight. So it's going to be interesting later on. But if you probably will hear at times activity coming up from the street. I live close to a fire station, and a lot of cops are around, so I get sirens. I haven't had any so far, but yeah, it's really interesting, the energy that I get from this. Okay, so we're going to have that full moon in Aquarius coming up, and that happens on Tuesday, the 1st of August. And the second one, as I drop my ephemeris here, my day planner, lots of stuff going on this month, my goodness. The full moon at 7 degrees Pisces is the 30th of August. 2 days before that, Uranus goes retrograde. So Uranus is having a big say with the full moon both times this month. The first one because Uranus is the ruling planet of the full moon in Aquarius. And the second one because 2 days before the full moon in Pisces, Uranus goes retrograde. And we'll talk about that more as we get closer to it. Mars goes into Libra on the 27th, which is just before the next full moon also. And then the sun enters Virgo the same day Mercury goes retrograde in September, or in late August, excuse me. Already thinking ahead. The 23rd. Mercury doesn't go direct on the 3rd, does it? Mercury goes direct on September 15th. I don't know why my ephemeris made me think that, but anyway. Okay, so we've got a lot of energy going on, and let's see through the end of the week. Let's just take it, what's going on for the moons this week. You've got Sunday is a moon in Capricorn. Monday, it enters Aquarius. And then we have Aquarius through Thursday, well, actually late Wednesday night at 11:05 p.m. Eastern. The moon goes into Pisces, and we wrap up the end of the week with 11:19 p.m. Eastern. The moon goes into Aries for the weekend. So that means that we've got Capricorn moon over the weekend, which is stability, security, and reliability, honestly, structures. And then it goes into Aquarius early in the week, which is going to give us that expectation with the full moon and the unexpected, well, the expectation of not knowing what's going to happen and surprises. And then Pisces is saying goodbye to people and things. It is sentimental, emotional energy. It is pulling back, getting into our emotions, but also being creative and even poetic. and it's a good time to do photography and film. And with the Aries energy over next weekend, we're going to be much more driven to doing things. My son's birthday is coming up on Sunday the 6th. So that's a little bit over a week away. It's not really this particular week of astrology, but it does sit in my mind because my son has a 0-degree Aquarius rising, Neptune at 1 degree Aquarius, and Uranus at 8 Aquarius in the first house. Very influenced by Aquarius, and he's a Leo. And his moon was full, and this is his full moon. He had a full moon at 0 Aquarius, and this is his full moon. So happy birthday to my son. Sun in the sky and sun. So, okay, that's all I have for you this week. And I hope you enjoy the podcast and the concepts I'm giving you. If you do, please again, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow me on social media. It's Angelic Zodiac, it's Astro Energy, and it's also Shelley Overton. Take care. Have a great week. Bye. Working out our cosmic muckles. Working.
Hi, this is Shelley. Thank you for joining us this week. To contact me for a private reading, go to angeliczodiac.com under the Readings tab. To purchase my ebook, Learn Astrology, you can find it at angeliczodiac.com. Background music was provided by Kevin MacLeod at incompetech.com. Be sure to check back next week and subscribe through iTunes at Astro Energy Astrology Show.